I have an interesting question from Ayeda. Just in the office right now doing a few things, and she put in a good question, and I wanted to answer it in a video because I think typing it out would take forever, and I think the nuances of what I want to say wouldn't come through as well as if I just spoke directly to you guys in a video. So the question is, why are people training Mustangs generally treating the unhandled horses roughly compared to what you're doing? Disclaimer, I've watched a handful of people on YouTube training Mustangs, and perhaps roughly is overstating what they are doing. It's a really good question. I would want to be really cautious about judging what anybody else is doing, what they're thinking, what their intent is. This isn't the type of channel that goes around insulting, calling names, judging directly or indirectly, hopefully. But I do have my own opinions on it that doesn't target anybody openly. I'm not going to point out anybody. But when I've ever watched, and I don't watch anymore, I only watch, if I'm going to pay attention to anybody, as you guys well know, it's going to be Sean over at Colorado Reinsman. And he's not making videos right now, he's very busy, but he's done a lot of really good stuff. And I like the way he thinks and the way he does stuff. Doesn't mean I agree with everything either. And that's normal. That's quite normal. Everybody's got a way of thinking, a way they see things. It's going to be very subjective. Some things are very objective, which is what I'm always trying to find myself. Doesn't mean I am, but I'm trying. Making something objective means that I can then be able to give a set of data or a set of circumstances that is going to make sense for repeatability, both in finding something that is not going quite right or is going right, and then how I would go about dealing with that, hopefully in a non-subjective manner. So I don't really watch any more other ones because I don't like them myself. I'm not a fan of most of the Mustang channels out there. It doesn't mean that I don't like everything. I like some things, but a lot of things I don't like. And when we use the word that they're being handled roughly, I think it's accurate. I wouldn't judge you, Ayeda, for making such a statement in regards to how we would judge or view or perceive how they are dealing with the behaviors that they feel like they're seeing. So we have to remember that every horse trainer, everybody behind a keyboard has got a perception of what is happening. And a lot of times it's about how the trainer crafts their perception that might have other people model their perception after that. I've had a few comments in here recently. One of them was, and it's fine, I'm not saying anything bad whatsoever, but one of them was, I'm a girl here in one of the comments felt that I was trying to make the wrong thing hard and the right thing easy. That's a very common phrase, and I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. It's not what I'm doing. It's not my intent. It's not my feeling. If I were to be doing that, I would say, I'm going to make this really hard for this guy so he can find the easy thing and then make that easy. I'm just not a fan of that process, that thought process, or how people will physically act out the solution. So, the horse world is a little bit of an echo chamber, and it's been an echo chamber for a long time. It's gone all the way back to Ray Hunt. Before him, Tom and Bill Dorrance. Those are sort of what we call the grandfathers and the great-grandfathers of today's horsemanship that revolves around, which is another set of comments that have been coming through, pressure and release. And then the horse world has kind of filtered its way to a pressure and release model or a positive reinforcement model. And there's these two models that have kind of gone off, and then they have their own little echo chambers. And that echo chamber doesn't agree with this echo chamber, and this echo chamber doesn't agree with that one. And any of the two that shall mix tends to be blurry, and it's never really been clear so I myself get muddled when I watch other channels. So I try to stay away. I try to just have my personal echo chamber that is, if you ask anybody around me, is highly critical. I'm very critical of myself, of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, what I'm getting, if I'm getting the right thing, why am I getting the right thing, and why do I think I'm getting the right thing. So I don't require anybody to write comments. I mean, it's okay to write anything that says, hey, do you do this? Why do you do that? And I hope to have a good, responsible answer to that. So the question of why do these other channels exhibit rough handling? And the first thing that usually comes to mind, and has been, I feel, proven through the fact that there are popular channels or popular videos in the horse world, is that, and not just the horse world actually, but that drama equals clicks, equals views. If you can make a horse look out of control, crazy, full of action, adrenaline, something that'll wake you up kind of idea, or provide that dramatic sort of feel, those will get a lot of clicks. Those will get a lot of views. It'll appear like there's a lot of action and something's happening, something productive, and and for many people, and I've seen a few videos, and I've commented on a few, but I try to stay away from commenting as much as I can, because generally this doesn't really go anywhere, rightfully so. So what I see is that these videos get a lot of very positive comments, very encouraging. Yes, you should do that. You should hit the horse. You should teach them who's the boss. You should push them around. You should make sure that they never challenge you. You should this, that, and the other. And they piles of people that support these overly dramatic videos. My videos tend to be quieter, I feel. And so sometimes I struggle for whether or not I should create some kind of drama. I don't. I try not to. But I think about it. It's in my head too, because of the way society and the YouTube society has kind of grown. If you look in the trending list, it's all drama. Drama, drama, drama. Every thumbnail out there has somebody with their mouth wide open, like they're overreacting to stuff. When we see horses being pushed around that much or roughly treated, it's drama. There's plenty of ways to deal with horses, I feel, that doesn't require that. Now, it doesn't mean also, though, if I were to be very careful about to judge a situation, I'm not going to judge every situation. It's not my place at all, unless I'm asked very specifically. I think it's quite rude to do that, and unfair. And I have no respect for anybody that does that. If you're asked to please come help, what do you see? Then 100%, no problem. Otherwise, I think it's awful. I don't look upon that in any positive way whatsoever, because we don't really know. We don't know the situation. We don't know what's gone on when the camera's been off. So many things happen when the camera is not running, which is one of the reasons why I try to do a full no-cut video. I think by now you could probably see why I did not type this all out. It's going forever. But the thought that goes through my mind is what is the intent of the person who's doing the work? So the first thought is, are they trying to make drama? Does this make a good video, good entertainment for people? And I think for many people it does. It makes good entertainment. It's great to watch. Let's watch some drama. That's fine. I don't care either way. I don't want that. I try not to get that. So my first answer to the question would be, why is there a difference? Well, I'm trying my very best to never get that. That's why when I'm working with them, if their head comes up, we've got a problem. It's not, does their head come up? They start jigging around, they start bucking, then we've got a problem. We've got a problem when their eyes go from this big to that big. Now we've got a problem. If you can cut it off before the rest of the body reacts, then the neurons in the brain, I believe, can actually be a little bit rewired to be less fearful. Because the only thing you're ever looking at with a horse, as much as trainers want to drive this aggression tactic that keeps on going out all over the place, it is just fear. If you think about the fact that you're working with a horse, and if it's overreacting, it is fearful. If you think that it's fearful, what can you do? Then the approach would change 100%, or should. Which brings me to the next point where I would be a little judgy to say so, but I might think something along the lines of maybe these people, if it isn't drama, if they are just doing that. And it also, there is this big echo chamber that the horse world tends to live in, where round pens are normal. Long line lunging is normal. Chasing horses around is normal. Yelling, shouting is normal. Using spurs is normal. Using long shank bits is normal. Using a twitch is normal. Spurs, what else can we think about that is normal that plenty of people don't like and the horses hate? And so there is that echo chamber thing. And if it isn't that, then the next thing I kind of turn to in my own head is the socio tendencies of that particular human towards people or animals or both, about whether or not they know how to make a good friend. And I remember watching a video with Buck Brenneman, and he said he made a really good statement that I really liked. And it was, sometimes you get a horse that is just completely inept at making friends. And they don't know, and he said something along the lines of, there's plenty of humans out there that don't know the first thing about making a friend. And there's plenty of horses out there like that. So I kind of look at things a little bit like that with some people that are treating these horses roughly. They're not trying to make a friend, they're trying to make a servant. They're trying to dominate. And I don't think there's much of a place for dominance in horse training. I think you have to be a fine leader. You have to be a respectful and kind leader to deal with them and have them look at you and think, hey, you're kind of cool. Maybe we can be friends. And I believe that every single horse is looking to make a friend. They all want a friend. So those are kind of the things that I think about. The three parts. One, they want drama. Two, echo chamber. They don't know any different. They haven't looked out beyond what they've learnt and has worked for them. And I would encourage you to look at a guy that I pay attention to and talk with as well. His name's Ross Jacobs. He has a very different way of thinking about horse training that I respect very much. And it is much different than what the echo chamber horse world is. And it's not that I like it because it's different. I like it because I truly believe in the concept of, or the concepts that he passes across that mirror my own independent thoughts from doing so much horse behavior observation. And I try to bring you guys along for those journeys where we go out and we watch horses in the arena and we say, what are they doing? Why are they doing it? Why did that happen? Question, question, question. With enough observation, with enough essentially data that we're looking at, we can say, I think this is because of this. Let's come up with a hypothesis and then we'll take that and we'll apply that to the next set of horse behavior that we see, or we'll rewatch the video because there is a lot of objective information that I put out that I feel really helps me. I'm hoping it helps you guys as well. So that said, though, I mean, plenty of Mustangs, or wild horses, or just normal domesticated horses are really afraid. And it may feel scary to those trainers as well. And when you feel fear, you're generally going to go up. It's going to be very hard to come down when afraid. So aggression comes out more through fear for both us and the horses. If they are exhibiting aggression, they're exhibiting fear. If the human is exhibiting aggression, it's likely they're afraid too. So sometimes when I watch these videos, I just feel sad for both human and horse. And while the horse knows it's afraid and is defending itself, the human has no idea, and they just think it's normal. Which brings me to a video I watched about food aggression, which kind of kick-started even more my path of dealing with food aggression stuff a few weeks ago or so. And there was a trainer who was literally teaching to hit the horse. And every time he went in there, he'd whack it. And that horse would get more afraid, and they would double barrel. And it's dramatic, and people loved it. But all I saw was a scared and terrified horse in a 12x12 stall with a trainer who was also scared to even go in there without his whip, without his hitting stick, teaching a young girl who was getting more and more afraid simply to feed a bucket of grain. And I just thought, how sad that none of those people know how to make a friend. So I don't know if that answers it. But those are my thoughts that kind of go around it. Those three things that kind of make me think. I don't know. I'm not trying to judge. But I deal with things the way I deal with things because I am desperate for them to be my friend. I want to be their best friend. I want them to look at me and think, can you please hang around with me all the time? Because it's going to be nothing but safer for me. I am going to still sleep in the same bed at night and not in the bed with the clean sheets, windows, doors, everything. The hospital, essentially. Not that my sheets aren't clean. Which sounded funny as I said. I'm going to keep that part in. But essentially that I want to sleep in my bed. I want to always come home in my car. And to do that, I think the best way to do that is to do your very best to be your horse's very best friend. And that does not involve hitting. It does not involve whipping. And it does not involve the resolution and ending on violence to get what you want. So any video out there that exhibits that stuff, I don't watch. I don't support. I don't vote up, down, comment, nothing. I block the channel kind of idea. I just ignore it. It's not for me. So it's really up to everybody else. Like, what's your bar? What do you want to be? How do you want to see things? Do you want to watch somebody just quietly hang out with a horse? Is that interesting? Does it get your adrenaline up? Does it feel good? Is it exciting? You know, everybody's a little different, and that's fine. If you want to deal with horses this way, I'm happy to present and teach and hopefully learn a lot more myself, because as I say all the time, I can't wait to see myself 1 year from now, because I'm constantly trying to grow. And that's what I think is important, is that the videos that I put up show a steady progression of growth, not repeat, and it just looks the same, different horse. Just gets better and more efficient, kinder, softer, those kinds of things. So that's my hope. Anyways, hopefully that answers your question. It looks like we're close to 20 minutes. As you can tell, there's no way I would be able to get the nuances of this explanation out by typing it. There you go. Any questions on that answer, let me know anytime. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.